man, what's going on? This fox shooting business isn't supposed to be so hard, Lee.
Mate, we worked hard for the ones we got yesterday.
Well, yeah, we've been up here a few days. It's our annual Christmas sort of little vacation to catch up with the boys, and obviously we do a bit of hunting when we're up here. It's a property we've been coming on for years, and if someone said to me 10 years ago, you won't be able to shoot a rabbit, there'll be no foxes, whatever, I would have laughed at them. But this new Khaleesi virus,
We haven't seen a rabbit.
mate, I'll be struggling to get a rabbit for me dogs. So in the end, we just got to keep at it. And yesterday and the day before, we've been going out whistling. And in all fairness, probably normally 50% of our sits, we would at least get 1 or 2 foxes coming in. At the moment, it was probably about 10% of our sits we got foxes in. And I think we've only shot, what, half a dozen or a dozen over the few days. So it can get a little, you can get a little bit dejected, but you just got to keep at it, as we always say. So I thought I'd take the opportunity of just talking about some of the products that we use, just to give us an advantage, not only in whistling, but in spotlighting. And actually I might start off with the spotlights, because we've really changed how we've done it over the years. 10, 20 years ago, we used to have one bloke dedicated to carrying a battery on his back, in his backpack, and we were walking around with a normal car spotlight. The torches, the LED torches today are just
Thank God those days are gone,
and
mate.
you've really got to keep up with the changes, because even in the last few years, we started off with the Solar Force M9, and we thought this thing was the bee's knees, Christmas. In that probably year or so that we've had those, I've bought another 2 different types of torches, which I'll talk about in a second, and they are just leaps and bounds above these again. But the key to the torches, now they all run the 18650 batteries, or all the good ones do, is good batteries. And we found that the Panasonic Blazar or Blazar have been the best. They're a little bit more expensive, but they are by far the best. Normally I would carry 1 spare set of batteries in my pocket when we're spotlighting, and 1 set in there in the torch for the night, and I've never run out of power in the time we've done it.
Good.
So I'm going to whack up a little bit of footage of just give you an idea between the torches. Well, actually not between the torches. Most of the footage I took was with the new one, which is the best one I've found at the moment. It's not that one, which is very good, is this new Maxtoch Shooter 2 times de-domed. Now, I've got a fair idea what this de-domed is. I think they actually cut the top off the actual LED, where it is rounded, they square it off or something like that. But bottom line is, this thing is absolutely brilliant. The function's slightly different. Each torch functions a little bit different in the way it works with the buttons. This one is all through the rear control, once to turn it on, and each time you half push it, it goes through the 3 settings. This light, compared to this light, now this one is the M3XS UT from Olight. This is really good as well. Now, one thing I can't talk about is longevity, how long they're actually going to last, how long the LEDs are going to last. But this one here is by far probably one of the best lights. A little bit different in operation. This one will actually, you turn it on and off here, and the power setting is through the top button. I don't really prefer one over the other as far as functionality. This light here on full power is about equivalent to this on half power. At first you think there's nothing in it, but I'll tell you now, I reckon you can light trees up with this, probably on a nice dark night, 400 yards, 400 metres without problem. Whether you're going to shoot that far, I doubt it, but I can tell you now, well, Jake's got the SL240, the Light Force on top of his Jeep, and I reckon this outshines it. He'll tell you otherwise.
Well, typical Jeep owners.
But yeah, look, so if you're not using torches, these new LED torches at this stage for your spotlighting, look, it just frees you up so much. Look, I haven't got it here, but you can buy the little clips that just $6 I think I paid for them on eBay, and you can whack this on top of your scope,
Or under your barrel if you shot it.
Yeah, and mate, they're just fantastic. I actually just clipped it to the camera the other night just to try it. And look, the camera struggles a bit to get the gain to actually see the footage, but they are good. And really, I don't see a need for a normal plug-in spotlight. I think the freedom that these offer you are just fantastic. So definitely look into these. The Maxtoch Maxtoch shooter 2 times, D-domed. I can't remember where I bought them, but you look them up, you'll find them. A quick search. These are more readily available, these Olight, and I think this is still their peak of the cream of their crop as far as the lights go. The M3 XS UT Javelot. Definitely a good light. Either one of these would do well, but you can definitely see the size difference in them. The reflectors are very similar, but this, like I said, on half power is as good as this on full power, but both very good. So now obviously when we're whistling, which we haven't had a lot of success over the last few days, but you just got to keep going at it, because yesterday we had a little bit of an interesting event. None were coming in. I think we ended up shooting one fox, seeing one other. Yeah. But when he decided to come in, he come in hard, and I hardly got the camera up in time, but I was on top of the rock, the boys were to the left to the right, Lee was whistling below me, and I tell you, you just get one event like that happen during the day, and it really just makes your day.
You can drop your guard.
Exactly. So Lee nailed that fox, and a lot of mange going around. A lot of the foxes are in really poor condition. A lot of them, look like you really need to be shot, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you feel sorry for them.
So besides that, well, I normally got where did I put my, I put it in my pocket, that's what I've done. The old Tenterfield whistle. Like I always say, these are ours. Jake makes them up for us. But look, you can have a go at making them yourself. Search online. These are still my favourite, the Tenterfields.
Oh, they do.
You get a good one, you can really get them screaming. And that's what Lee used yesterday to call that fox in. And it come in hard, it wanted, and we're to pull up at about, a metre, 2 metres from you.
Yeah, it's only a couple of metres away.
So I'm trying to lean over to get it, and he's looking up at me, and I'm thinking, I was almost laughing that much I couldn't keep the camera straight.
Yeah.
But, so obviously our whistle, but the other thing is to have more than one weapon in your arsenal.
Exactly.
And
makes a difference.
Look, we've got the Icotec, and I don't talk a lot about it here, but this is the Icotec GC500. This is the top of the range, well, was the top of the range. I'm pretty sure it still is in the Icotec range. What I like about this is obviously you've got the remote. The best part about it is you're not locked into the manufacturer's calls. You can just put an SD card in this. You can put whatever MP3 file you want on this card and play away. Fully remote controlled. I think it's up to about 100 calls on this model. I might be wrong. But the other thing you've got the advantage of, if you want to use it, and I won't say it's the be all and end all, but there is a couple of different variations of these Wagglers. This one is the one that's separate from the actual unit. And basically you can control it with the remote. It's just a matter of sticking this in the ground and basically plug it into your auxiliary port on here, and you can control it with this auxiliary button every time you turn it on.
Change that?
Yeah, you can actually. What do you mean? What's wrong with that?
A little bit fairy tale.
It can work on its own. Basically, you have the off-on switch. You like my Waggler?
I like it better off that.
It's also got a little LED in the top if you want to use it of a night. I won't say we've had massive success with this, but it often detracts the foxes away from you. But when I say I haven't had a lot of success, the fox whistling has just been really slow this year. So look, 5-10 years ago, I reckon we would have had 4 or 5 foxes jumping all over this thing. So again, it's just another tool in your toolbox, basically. Yeah. Weapon in the arsenal, whatever you want to call it.
It's a great distraction.
Yeah, and look, I don't very often talk about who supplied us things and whatever, but I've got to give credit where credit's due. If you're after any of the Icotec products, you're in Australia, get on to Pete at Get Trapped. I'll put up his link in the description. He just went out of his way to help me out with these things. I actually broke the screen on one of these, shut the door of the car on it. It was my fault. Went out of his way to help me. And I said, listen, I wouldn't mind trying one of these things. So, you know, we've only had it for probably about a year, and we sort of got it towards the, yeah. So look, it's just something else to try. But in all fairness, the whistling's been slow, the fox shooting's been slow.
The rabbits are non-existent.
So we're just going to enjoy the time away with some good mates, sit down at the river, listen to the cricket, have a couple of beers if we have to in the heat of the day, and just enjoy life, because if you don't, you get involved too much with work, it'll pass you by, so get out and do it, enjoy your life.